All praises. Kemba Kimanata Nzambi Mazulu, King Fumu Kyakuisa, Nzambi Mawesha, Nzambi Akabenisha, Nzambi Oneni, Nzambi Ampungu, Nzambi Anzola, Nzambi Ankembo. That Nzambi Dikolele for my zonas against the Yaya of any kind. We pray that Nzambi that the message that I'm bringing will strike where it needs to hit. And I know many people are ready for me to answer their questions or talk to them. I will do that, and I pray that Nzambi will be a part of that. Yangi, Salama peace, or Sika Mani, two Sika Mani, if it's multiple people here in the morning where you are, away in the Siami. My name, Kumbiame, Brother Trey. For those who don't know me, this is indeed what we call the Bantu truth. And why we're calling it that is because Bantu just means people. Muntu is the singular, and R2 it means the head or the top. We had a word for people who are on the bottom called Anan Si. It's actually a combination of two words, Ana and Si. They merged it together and got the name Nancy. Okay, and this word was what we used to call people the bottom or the dogs, and especially like the Canaanites and any other nation that was beneath us. But of course, our biggest problem is we use that as a way to be the same as Cain's mentality and not the Most High, Esau. And so, as I'm going to bring in this teaching, that not everybody who thinks they are chosen. And not everybody who does the work of the Most High doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to sit in the highest temple. But you could also have a place. But at the same time, you can be told to go lower. That's why he said, not everybody says in Fumo will I answer. And see, that's how I know many people are not talking to the Messiah for that very reason. Christianity in itself is the biggest hustle that has ever been created. That followed by Islam, and then Judaism was the one that was the third. Now Judaism is saying it went back to the way of the temple, which is false because Judaism was actually the practices of the Phoenicians following the pagan calendar roots of the Talmud, which came out of Babylon, which had nothing to do with what the Most High taught his people. These are a group of people that are practicing a religion that comes from their original culture as the Phoenicians, as the Hittites, as the Canaanites, as Ashkenaz and Edomites, many others, that is incorporating the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments, but it is not the pure way. That's why you call them the Most High's people, which is fine, but the Most High's people never practiced Judaism. This is a lie. We were not allowed to practice Judaism. He hated that. We want to talk about it. Christianity is idolizing, and this is something the Father was always against, any form of idolatry, idolizing a person. And the Messiah himself said, I idolize my Father. And this is what people don't even know. You can very easily catch yourself doing things to worship false gods, even people. This is why they made this a way to continue to cause yourself to, especially if you have knowledge, to be puffed up. If you have wisdom, many of our elders, because of what they know or what they knew, caused us to stumble if they decided that to be of themselves. Okay. When they were not that way, they had the humble heart. This is when the Most High was operating. And this is important because love starts with humility first. Humility then leads to obedience, and obedience leads to power. Okay. If you're wise in your own eyes, you will always fall. This is how it goes. You're wise in your own eyes, you will always fall. Because in my own eyes, I am a fool compared to the Most High, the zombie, to God, the God of creation. Christians gonna say, well, he didn't say God. Okay, God is actually dog backwards. We don't want to believe that. It comes from God's real, the fallen one. Just like Deus is Zeus. It's all Zeus. Okay. So as we will demonstrate, to be with the Most High, first of all, requires humility. Humility is what brings love. Love is what brings change, and change is what brings power. And people cannot work together and be together with the people that are designed to sabotage the temple. Okay. And we're going to talk about that. So, wana kumase, mwana vela sai sefu saku panza zinga. This is why I'm going to say there's many Mayamonas. That's confirmed in the book of Jude, where he says the Most High will come with his 10,000 thousands of his holy ones. That means all of those beings are the same. Mayamona. Now they may have different levels of the hierarchy in the kingdom. Okay, but the bottom line is they're one spirit, one flesh, one power, one force, and the Lucifer is the opposite. Okay, that's why we talk about this concept of what we're struggling with in America, even myself, is a kingdom full of hypocrisy. So when you're manifesting in a kingdom filled with hypocrisy, it's more than just America, it's the world. Okay. That's why when people keep talking about, oh, we're going to run to Africa because Babylon's going to fall. Well, Babylon's in Africa. That's actually where it started. Okay. So you better, Babylon is a place. Babylon is not just a place, it's people. Just like the Most High is not, his kingdom is not, it's a people. Okay. Solomon, Jerusalem, or what do you want to call it? People say Jerusalem. Jerusalem is not a place, it's a people. Okay. The Most High's nation cannot operate with hypocrisy. This is proven many times over to the fall of the kingdom. So now what we're coming down to is the time of the end of the hypocrites. And this is what the world's really going through right now. And when I say hypocrites, I'm meaning the people who say they work for the Most High, but are in fact spies for the enemy. The people who say out of their mouths that they don't worship false gods, when in fact, in the secret, they do. And then these people are casting spells and using divination to make those who want to serve in the temple of righteousness to be dirty. And this is what we talk about when we talk about a Judas mentality is when you see, and I'm going to go over the scriptures, that like I said, I don't have animosity the way many people would like to see. What I have is pity for people who don't realize they can turn a person into a god without even realizing it, when you're focusing more on the person than the person than the message, the embassy, or where the knowledge is coming from. Also, if the knowledge is even legitimately real, or are you just getting scammed? Okay. And this is where us as a people continue to fall into this trap. But anyway, I get my music started. Again, I hope you Wikichila, Kukwisi Ambote, welcome to all of the Bantu scattered across the earth. The Bantu Kisolide, the Bayunde, the Bakongo, the Benanzambi, those who have received the knowledge of the truth. We honor you as well. We honor all of you who are working to do things, to come together, to work with leaders. But see, and I'm going to get to that, this is why those who are deceptive won't let those who work without deception interact with those who know. And this is why I'm doing what I do. They hear me from this vantage point, because they have to listen to what I say. That affects what impact their country. This is why they don't want people. They talk about the TikTok ban. I'm gonna get into that. TikTok ain't got. I'm gonna tell you about how TikTok has nothing to do with China. I'm gonna get into that. It's more than that. Also, the same thing with YouTube and everything else. But then at the same time, you got to know that what's going to happen very soon. You won't need TikTok. You won't need YouTube. You won't even need Facebook. Okay. What's going to happen very soon will change. You won't need Patreon. You won't need any of these things. It's going to manifest in a way that people are going to find out. But I'll play the music. Again, tuna mavimpi, monotatanzami pungu. We are doing well by the grace of the Most High Almighty. And we're going to get started here. All right. Again, I don't own the rights. This is for educational purposes only and entertainment purposes only, but not and to sway anyone's way of thinking, but for people to have their own mind as to how they want to interpret what I'm going to say today. All right, all praises. Campbell, hallelujah. It is an honor today. I spoke with some people today, and it was good to hear about some people that are working in the continent, but also to demonstrate some things. Why is it that you cannot find unity among the African leadership in the way that really favors the people in a lot of ways. And we're talking about what's going on with Burkina Faso, Mali, what's going on in the continent right now, and Ghana. And we're going to get into those things because there's an event that, of course, is transpiring on Monday. There's more to it than you don't even know. Okay, so the date itself, and I'll get into that right now as to what they've been hiding about why this inauguration was meant to be in the cold because of the false interpretation of the weather and science. Now, I can say this because I have taught science in the schools. I have taught many different things. And what I will say is the educational system that currently operates is one big hustle. Okay. It's a major hustle to deceive people about something that cannot actually be allowed for much longer. And the same thing with the religious aspect. One big hustle with religion, and the governments of this world are all involved in a major hustle because to care about people literally means you're not taking advantage of anything about them, not one bit. Even when the Most High, when we had, in His kingdom, were those who one was working under another. He always said He did not like us to take advantage of each other. That's why they talk about you got to treat the slave right, whatever position they occupy, they must be treated well. Okay. There was not anything that was supposed to be considered a wickedness from the Most High's perspective. And so we're going to show you how many people have been indoctrinated to turn on. And like I said, all they did was they took the name slavery. And I'm going to talk about the correct interpretation of slavery is not just about working for nothing. This is the lie. Okay. This is the stupidity of a lot of people's interpretation because they've been taught something completely wrong by those who define it because they wanted you to believe something. And when I say stupidity, I mean the ignorance of your brain not comprehending that everything is slavery. Okay. For the wealthy people, it doesn't matter how much they pay you, you are still a serf. You are still a slave. You are still a tool to be used for their benefit. And what we're going to talk about is when we speak for the working man, is it for the Most High's benefit, or is it because the world doesn't know how deceived they really are? Okay. So, Kembo Kembo Tanzami, Kulu Kulu, Modimo, Sonina Nina Samala, Betuabu. I hope everybody's doing well. I meant to get this video out sooner, but we've been dealing with some stuff around the house and I didn't want a bunch of noise. And this is actually a good time because the weather makes everybody sleepy. So no one's really up and about. But it's a good time for us to fellowship and to be able to speak because I'm going to get into the book of Yohane. And I'm going to show you where Christianity has been misled by this scripture so many times that they don't know what it really refers to. And of course, people say, well, this is talking about the crucifixion. Yes, but where you have been deceived is what Messiah you're following, the one who was crucified for his theft, or the one who was crucified for not being a thief. Because yes, there was one who was crucified for being a thief. Okay, And this is all part of the lie that they coded this, and they're going to show you the difference between the imposter and the one that's real. Okay, so Masindisi Fumayisu, okay, the name Jesus, this was a name that was invented by Rome to run their hustle. I told people this because they had to disguise the word IESUS that the Bantu of Isolde were familiar with. That this is why we started. This is how we started the protest against Rome. That when we came back into contact with them out of our time, we were separated in the Kingdom of Congo and Totala. We told the Europeans this name does not mean what you think. It's actually meant to be an insult. As, we said in Fumo Yisu, Yesua. And this is where the bewitching started. Jesus was really the way they tied the name of Zeus to the Messiah, because he resembled, but he was more powerful than Zeus. So the Latin versus the original Hebrew, they say Aramaic, because in Aramaic they say Yeshua. Okay, so there's no Jesus there. Aramaic says Yeshu or Yeshua, and we say Yisu or Yesue, because the Most High does not speak Aramaic. He speaks Congololo, or what we call, some people call it Kintuba, Chiluba, as mixes in there. He speaks a language, the pure language Kikongo, but even now the Kikongo they speak is not pure. Okay, and Lingala is a spin-off of Kikongo, and this is a language that has existed since the beginning of time. But the indoctrination, of course, of Christianity, Judaism, Islam, each one thinks that, because see, in Christianity they speak many different languages, and this is the lie. Okay, Islam is primarily Arabic. Okay, Farsi, even Aramaic, connected to Ethiopian language. Also, and then of course with Judaism, it's specifically what they want to call Hebrew or Yiddish. Okay, but when you talk about Christianity, you got Christians that speak Latin, Spanish, French, English, German, Korean, many African languages. Okay, you got Christians that speak Portuguese. They speak Chinese. Okay, you got Christians that speak Patois, or like in Jamaica, or you got Christians that speak different languages. Okay, this is the lie that people don't understand is, and this is why the deception of English, of the English-speaking Christians, is where the world has been played, because the majority of Europe, you got, like I said, you got people that speak Dutch, okay, and they're Christians. So it's like you have a delusion going on when it comes to the temple of the Most High, and that temple speaks one language, but can't come out as many. And this is where the Holy Spirit played a role, and where people don't get it, when it says the temple that was destroyed was the temple of Tatanzambi, which is what he represented, Masindisi, the Soni Nanini. And the living God, the Bantu God, the Bantu God, has been made to be looking like he's wicked when you are in fact worshiping Egyptian gods. And that's where the Egyptian gods can fool you, because they can make you still think. And this is where the Anunnaki are very well at disguising themselves to make you convince yourself your knowledge and your truth is coming from the Most High when it's not, or what temple you are connected to. Because when he says that this temple will be raised again in 3 days, the temple he's referring to is one that has no hypocrisy, meaning the temple that never broke the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments in its physical form as a person. So then that means you do it his way, to not allow yourself to be a hypocrite. This is how the world continues to be deceived. And those who claim to be working for the Most High is everything we do and everything we are must operate under the unhypocritical temple and not according to your understanding, but his understanding. Okay. That's the concept of many people who, when you talk about the Most High, who's not a hypocrite, that means it starts with not being a hypocrite either, and not thinking that you aren't a hypocrite, but realizing everything comes from the perspective of the Most High. And that's why it frustrates me, because when I look at what's going on in my household and my life and the things that are happening, there are those that this is why he says they desire to see you as the hypocrite. So that's when they want to give you food, or they want to give you medicine, or they want to do things to your body that causes you to be able to have a hard time focusing on the task, on the job. This is what we're talking about when we say many people don't know that they're manifesting under a false spirit. And see, for me, and it's great. So when I received my prophecy in Africa, most of what he talked about hasn't even happened yet. And this is what I'm looking forward to, because this is when people are going to be astounded, because I haven't even gotten to the next phase of what he talked about. And this is why I feel this will be the year or the time frame where this begin to manifest, when people will start to understand that they're messing with the wrong person. Because, you know, when it comes to who has been anointed as a king or a queen, that is not determined by men. That is determined by the Most High. That is determined by Masquerading from Yesu Cristo Congo, the real Jesus. This is all determined by the temple or the priest. This is the whole reason why he put Elijah, they want to call Elijah, and he put Masa together, mostly the law, because Elijah represented the prophets, okay, and Moses represented the law, and then he put it into the temple, because now he became the temple. Now he became one. Those were the two things that made up the physical temple that existed. Is you had the law of the prophets, and then you had the law of Moses. Okay, these things were connected to each other. You had the prophets, and you had the Moses, and you had the law. Okay, that's why he said to not follow it my way. Moses will judge you, but then you will never receive the true, because the spirit has to manifest with the law. Okay, so when Masquerading from Yesu says in Johanna, he says, I will destroy this temple and I'll raise it again in 3 days. He was talking to the Sanhedrin. Now, your assumption has been made that the Sanhedrin came from Abana and Saka and Yakubi, when they actually only came that way, but they were the cut off nation of the Edomites. And also the Hittites, they were also the cut off nation of the Phoenicians. Okay, Gogol. Now, that's why King Herod was an Edomite. And of course, you go back to what they talk about in the book of Maccabi. Okay, Yohanan Maccabi, Judas Maccabee. It shows you right there, our ancestors, and as they call them, the 13th tribe or whatever, Danny Boy, Madonna. Okay, that's where she gets her name from. We'll get to that as well. She's more than that. But Madonna means the tribe of Dan, which technically was what left, but then claimed to come back. But they were not the bloodline. Okay. Now, the conversion started with the priest Jason, who was a wicked guy who convinced one of our kings to make him into a priest, through the process of saying that and this goes back to when in the Maccabi it says we were better off, and that's what the Most High said. We always want to say this. We were better off doing the ways of the heathen or the pagans, meaning things that are unclean to the Father. So now what the whole concept of the 3 days, going back to the sign of Yonah, which is even more than this. It even goes further back than that. Okay. It stands on the real 3 pillars and not the fake 3 pillars. Okay. Government or politics, what we call alchemy, and then also the, how you call it, the belief system. Okay. So it's like the government and the alchemy is also tied to the belief system. Okay. This is where the world is continuously being misled, because you've been convinced that your alchemy or your spiritual power, the power, and your government and your belief system is operating on the temple of the one that wasn't a hypocrite versus the one that is. Okay, so you're with this is what's going to bring down the house of Ra, or the house of the deceiver, because what's going to happen now, and why, if you even look at the date, it says January 2025. When you do the numerology aspect, because everything is based on numbers. Okay, there's numbers that bring you to the truth, and there's numbers that bring you to lies. Okay, and so it comes out to be a 33. So the 1 and the 2 make the 3, and then the 2 and the 5 make the 7. But because the 7 is also affiliated with the number 12, because it's the 7 and the 5, you're going to get the 3. So the number, because it goes 3 and then 7, but then you go 7 plus 2, okay, which is the 9, which then breaks down into the 3, okay, is the 33rd. So the 33rd is the 25th makes the 7, which makes the 9, which breaks down to the 3, because 3 times 3 is 9, okay, and then you have the 1, the 1 and the 2 is the 33rd, okay. So now, being that Donald Trump is a 33rd degree Mason, okay, and the Messiah's teachings were 30. They talk about Messianic, the 33 years. The deception is you have one that is operating in the positive versus one who's operating in the negative, pretending to be the positive. Okay, so Yeshua, his ministry never broke the Most High law, statutes, and commandments. The imposter's ministry chooses, okay, to how to follow the Most High law, statutes, and commandment when they're convenient. Okay, this is the deception. Okay, so now to prove my point, we go back to Corinto, what they call Corinthians, and there, it's Samuel and the many prophets that talked about this. They said, "Do you not know that your bodies are the temple of the Holy Spirit, who is in you, whom you have received from the God?" And of course, this would become from the God who's not a hypocrite. Okay, this is how many people don't understand is you end up with the spirit of Sophia, which is a false spirit, when you don't receive the power, the anointing from the God who isn't a hypocrite. Okay, so now the Manda Velala, or the Holy Spirit, is designed for you to walk in righteousness, not in wickedness, and not do both. Doesn't do the knowledge of good and evil, but the knowledge of good. Okay, it says right here, you are not your own. Okay, so for example, People have a child. They say, I'm dedicating my child to God. What's God? The God of truth. Okay. Then you cannot be doing this if you don't even know who the God of truth is. But you're only meant to believe it. And the way you know the difference is you're not going to want to, you're going to question or you're going to have issues with hypocritical behaviors, or you're going to struggle with the concept of something's not moving right. Okay, something does not fit. It's like I'm hearing one thing, but I'm seeing something else. Are you really practicing the truth, or you just meant to look like you are? Okay, and it says you were bought at a price. Now, this is even before the Messiah was crucified. This is the Old Testament. Therefore, honor Tatanzami with your bodies. What is he talking about? What did the Most High, how did the Most High buy us as a price, even before the crucifixion has even taken place, that many Christians don't even understand what that means? Okay? That means there was a charge and a price, an affiliated, or what we want to call a sacrifice that was done between the goat God and the Most High, and the wages. That's where the wages part comes in, where it says the wages of sin are death, where the wages of not doing sin is life. Okay, why is that important? Because if you're paying your wages to the God of sin, then you're not free from slavery. Okay, if you're paying your wages to the God of no sin, then you are free from slavery. You're free from real slavery. Even though you might be a servant of some kind, you are not treated as such in the kingdom. Okay, you are not treated as such by the Father. Okay, so a lot of people don't get it, is that your ability to know the truth is what allows you to manifest the power. Your ability to be chosen and chastened and loved by the Most High is what makes you the property of the God of truth. Okay, so now when you're living in a system that is designed to do exactly what it is, make you the property of a hypocritical God, but not knowing it, this is where you see nothing wrong with your work. If you think you're going to say, I do an honest day's work, but if your honest day's work is for the goat God, then the Father does not receive it as payment for his kingdom or work for his kingdom. You're not receiving the money based upon his interpretation, but your own. You're wise in your own eyes, and the system, and this is where the mammon is able to control you now. And this is why people now fight over money and fight over resources and fight over who controls what. Because you are then the victim or at the mercy of those who are they themselves being dishonest about what God they represent, what they believe. Because it's like this: as a Muslim, as a Christian, or whatever they call themselves in this day and age, they are not serving the interests of the hypocritical God as far as when they worship. I mean, the non-hypocritical God, they are always serving the interests of the hypocritical God. That is why to go against him is why they want to kill you. They say you're going. This is where death is part of this concept with the secret societies, with the religion you worship. It's like Christians want to kill you, okay? Or Muslims want to kill you, or whoever it is, they want to kill you because you are defying the the system that is meant to destroy Jacob, Yakubi, Israel, while thinking the opposite. Okay? So what people don't understand is, therefore, you honor the Most High with your body. How do you do that? And this is where we struggle. You do not do what the hypocrites do. You do not do what those who walk blind do. You do not do the things that interfere with your ability. And this is where our people have been manipulated by a lot of these witches and warlocks, and their deception is they want you to look bad and shame the Father while they try to make their God look good, who is in fact an imposter. So then they'll say, well, I'm not working for Lucifer, when they are. Okay? This is the whole concept of what will soon transpire this year, is that everyone who works in the kingdom of darkness behind the scenes is waiting for this coming day. Okay? Because Donald Trump is not just the president of the United States. This is when you're going to find out you got played. Donald Trump is not just the president of the United States. Okay? It's more than that. And see, all these other leaders who are now coming together, and of course, they're still playing their game. Oh, I'm not going to show up for Trump's this. I'm not. No, it's all part of the show, because they know that what we are transitioning back to is Revelation 17. Actually, Revelations 13. Let's see. We're transitioning to this scripture to where it's no longer going to be in the open. And it said, I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw the beast rise up out of the sea with 7 heads and 10 horns. Okay, so now, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his name the name of blasphemy. People don't even know what the name of blasphemy is if you walk with the wrong God. You ask any Christian, what is the name of blasphemy on this beast's head? I can tell you right now, they ain't going to get it right. The majority of them will not get it right. Doesn't say, oh, it's Satan. That's not the name on his forehead. And upon his head's the name of blasphemy. You're going to find out the name of blasphemy is not what you think. What Christians have been taught, what Muslims have been taught, people are going to be shocked about this. Okay? Toko talked about the name of blasphemy. Yeah, how many Tokos and Kimbangos know what he's talking about? The name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, had his feet were as feet, and the bear of his mouth. Now, Toko talked about this. These are all the captivities that we've been involved in. And as a mouth, in the mouth of the lion, and the dragon came upon his power and great authority. Okay. And he saw one of the heads was wounded, and death, his deadly wound, was healed, and the world wondered after the beast. People have talked about this concept. This is applying to Rome. Okay, this is applying to the the Roman Empire. Okay, and they worship the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. Now, how do you worship the dragon? This is what people don't understand. You idolize. You worship the dragon through idolatry. Okay, and they worship the beast, saying, who is like the beast, who's able to make war with him? Who is able to make war with him? This is the concept. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him, could continue 40 and 2 months. Now, the 40 and 2 months is more than, this is a code. This is your 6. Because it's 1,000 years is one day. So a lot of people, are going off of the men's calendar when everything is off of the Most High's calendar. You're being deceived about this. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against the zombie and blasphemed his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. Okay. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them, and to power was given to him over all kindreds, tongues, and nations. Okay, now, this did not just happen recently as what Christians have been made to believe. No. This ties into the days of Noah. And it reflects what took place in the 1400s and in the Spanish Inquisition, and also what took place as one of these guys did the testimony when he said that he was an Arabic man that went to England and he saw this particular creature that said, I am going to be out soon. Okay. The last 300 years is connected to events that you were not even around for many of people who don't know that many of these people, that's why when they saw the photo, when the guy was tripping, he said that when Trump took this photo, it was like a photo that was back in the medieval times. And it was like, wait a minute, what? Why does this look familiar? Okay. Because many people don't know is you're living in a repetitive system in this war. So it's like things are repeating themselves over and over, just changing the clothes, just changing the names, just changing the way people look. It's a system that is constantly looking like it's different when it's the same. Okay? And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him whose name are not written in the book of life, and the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. Now, there were those of us that this was forced upon us, not willingly done. Forced upon us, not willingly done. And then there were those who did it willingly. Okay? So that's why many of us who called into question, what do we worship? What do we study? What are we doing here? This was always the problem. Okay? And then it says, if any man have an ear to hear, let him listen. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. So that's why even when many of us did not want to become slaves, and what is really captivity? We're going to talk about that. Captivity is not just, captivity is the concept of taking someone to another place where you cannot return from the place that you were taken. Or you cannot have the life that existed prior to the captivity. Okay? And then it says, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the Bantu. So what is it saying? You must have patience and you must have faith. But faith cannot be in a hypocritical God. Okay? And beheld another beast came out of the herd. He had two horns like the lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Okay? What is this? This is the false prophet. This is the false Messiah. This is the false spirit. Okay? And he exercised all power of the first beast and causes the earth that which dwell to worship the beast whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so he maketh fire come from heaven and the earth in the sight of men. So what you don't understand now, people were sitting there watching what took place. About, look at this stuff that just come falling. They were talking about over Turks and Caicos. Okay, but this is also tied to a scripture of Isaiah. Okay, when the Most High is going to start to bring down the nations. Okay, and he says, he doth great wonders, and he deceiveth that dwell on the earth by the means of these miracles, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to him that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which is wounded by the sword and did live. Okay? The belief system has repeated itself because this word can replicate. Okay? Because Rome was bruised during the War of the Roses, was split. Okay? Then you had it happen in a similar fashion again when you saw the assassination attempt on Pope John Paul II, because the reality is the Most High wanted the world to understand that many things had come and changed the way people view who he is and who the Messiah was and what the teachings are and what the world believes. Okay? And this is why I say, the world keeps talking about coming together, being one. You hear this all the time, being at peace. We want to put an end to war. We want to stop it. You see now that all of a sudden, as they're getting ready to inaugurate Trump, you have a ceasefire agreement between Hezbollah and Israel. Let me tell you what's going to happen. People don't even know. Okay? The world is so deceived now that to even show them this, you cannot even fathom what's going to happen. And I told people, you've already been getting played. We've all been getting scammed. Nobody understands what I'm talking about. When I had the discussion today with the people that are working on the continent, I said, listen, you cannot make deals and work together with somebody who works for the hidden hand. Okay? This is going to always be the issue. If you're going to be working with people, they cannot also be working to sabotage what it is you're trying to work. That's why I told them, I said, I know what they're calling the Pan-Africanist movement. There's a lot of deception there because it all boils down to the two kingdoms. The world does not understand the kingdom that has been given. The dragon who's speaking the lamb who's speaking like a dragon has taken his kingdom and turned it into countries. Now you're going to see how you were played with missing scriptures that they even know. There's another book of there's another book of Revelation that breaks this down very well. And they've kept it away from you because they understand you must continue to follow a false narrative. You must continue to go along with what you have been taught as a child, assuming your teachers did not lie to you, your pastors did not lie to you. Just because a person says, I am not lying to you, does not mean it's true. Okay? It's funny how a pastor will sit there and say, I am not a liar, but then a politician say, I am not a liar. Yeah, right. Okay? But then the pastor will say, oh, okay, pastor, you're not a liar. This is the concept of the ignorance that people don't realize is it's very easy for someone to believe somebody when they say, I am not a liar, than to actually ask the Father, is this person a liar? Because the Most High, in his infinite wisdom and truth, the Most High powerful God, he's going to show you who's a liar and who isn't. This is where the real understanding of obeying the Holy Spirit does. I know that many people want to turn me into the liar because of what I represent in this creation and where I come from and what I'm about. Because the reality is, deception starts first of all with your heart. Purity and love in the heart, like Davidi, everything starts on the inside. Okay? This is why purification of heart, mind, body, and soul is so important. I did there's a dance we did, the scatter around backwards. Okay? I did that earlier where you take your foot, like the stanky leg, they call it, and you spin around backwards. Okay? because you're turning back the hands of time to cleanse your body of wickedness. This is why we did it. This dance is not taught to the Christians. I tell you that. Okay? Because the reality is, but at the same time, you cannot reverse the hands of time if you are working for the imposter. So if you're believing in the God who's a hypocrite, you cannot turn back the hands of time of sin on your body. Okay? No, you cannot. If you are being infiltrated in your house by the imposter, you cannot turn back the hands of sin. If you allow negativity and wickedness to manifest around you, you become that energy. People don't understand this. If you tolerate it, you become that energy. So it's like what you tolerate, what you choose to believe in, and what you do. If you choose to tolerate hypocrisy, then hypocrisy will run your life. If you choose not to tolerate hypocrisy, this is when real change comes. Okay? This is why we live in a system that many people don't understand. You are allowing hypocrisy to reign. And then you're asking for change. You can't do that. You cannot have politicians and teachers and all the other people who operate on hypocrisy to now change something to become unhypocritical. It don't work that way. Okay? This is why what's going to transpire over this next few years, you got what you paid for. I'm just telling you that right now. You ain't going to like it. It's going to be nasty. So like what Kepler says, his name was never Peter. I'm telling you right now. You don't understand what I'm telling you, you're going to be hurting. Therefore, rid yourselves of all malice, of all deceit. So many people don't understand is malice and deceit starts with what you have interpreted, what people say. And this is where Lucifer is very well at causing people to hear things incorrectly. And a lot of times you pass this information on. This is where gossip starts. Or you accuse something of someone of something when in fact you are incorrect in your accusation. That's when the Most High is going to tear you apart in your house. This is where the fallen angels will have free reign. Okay? Hypocrisy and envy, and of all these that are speaking against people. So now, the issue is, like in my house and many things, when we talk about people, it is to demonstrate where people can either help the Most High or they have failed him. Okay? It is also to show us how we as a people need to improve. Okay? And also what we have experienced. And a lot of times people will sit there and misinterpret that as me speaking or talking against someone when that was not the case. Because that is where the fallen angels really play a great role in misinterpreting your spirit. Because no one understands this better than I do. When people will sit there, they will hear me say something and they will misinterpret everything that I say, and it's because they're not in the right spirit. And the reason why they have done this is because they themselves did not remove malice or deceit from themselves. Okay? Or they have envy, or they themselves operate under a hypocritical system because they are worshiping the fish god. Okay? And of all the ways they are speaking against people, and be like newborn babies, thirsty for pure milk of the word. What is the word? The word is not just written down pieces of paper. This is the issue. The word is not just, sorry, but second, I just closed it. Sorry, 1 second. Let me open it back up. My 2 Peter. Where are you? There we go. All right. So the word, what is the word? The word is not just written down pieces of paper. The word is the Spirit of the Most High. Okay? So in order to receive knowledge and wisdom means that the spirit that you are being fed by is not the spirit of hypocrisy. So this is where people don't understand why the world is the way it is because too many people are being fed by the spirit of hypocrisy and not the spirit of that's not hypocrisy, because not everybody is chosen. It's a lie. See, that's why when Tatanzami has said, or the Most High said, when this will manifest all around the world, which will happen very soon, you will see the difference between those who played the game versus those who didn't. Okay? Many pastors are going to be seen for what they are, showmen and showwomen who are there to put on a show, while at the same time invoking spells on people. And you're going to find this out. And they don't have to always look like they're meanies. No witch and warlock is ever just going to look like they're just meanies. They're nice people. Oh, hi, nice to meet you. Oh, yeah, good. And they could be practicing the most kendoki you've ever seen behind closed doors you've ever seen. And when I say kendoki, I'm talking about the bibbidi-bobbidi invoking, okay? But they don't always come looking like a bunch of meanies, as you will find out. Okay? So now Zechariah, okay? Zechariah, these are the things you must do. Speak truth to one another. Render true and sound judgments in your gates. Do not plot evil in your hearts against your neighbor, okay? And do not love to swear falsely, for I hate all these things. So the problem with many people when it comes to looking at scripture, and they spend thousands of dollars and going to seminary, go to classes. Do you realize people waste the most money when it's very simple right there in black and white that all you got to do is do one thing that fixes all of your problems? And it says it right here, speak the truth. You cannot speak the truth if you learned it from the hypocrite. No way. You have all these people, they're going to go get licenses to be pastors. They're going to go become lay speakers, and they want to become a doctorate of this and this and that. And I'm telling people, you're going to find out you got played very soon, because all of this stuff was designed for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to be a stumbling block to the people who you're trying to stop from being a stumbling block. Okay? The Messiah said, the Most High says, when you speak the truth, okay, when you render sound judgment, and when he means sound judgment, he means not hypocrisy, okay? And when you actually do not plot anything evil against your neighbor, and you do not swear falsely, you have now become the temple. It's that simple. It's this easy. It's that simple, but yet you got people out here, they spending all this time sitting in Sunday school. Oh, I want to learn how to be a better Christian. It's very simple. Stop lying to yourself and to those who are hypocrites. And stop tolerating hypocrisy. Okay? You don't understand. The world is so deceived by Lucifer that you literally think that you have to go and spend all this time in front of a pastor, in front of a teacher. That's why the Messiah said, Yusu Malongi, or I am the teacher. Why? He said, because when you obey the spirit of truth, not the spirit of hypocrisy, the spirit of truth, then you don't have to learn it from anybody else. You already got it. You know how to do it. Okay? You know how to manifest. You know what to do. But yet people will sit there all day long going to a building when it says right here, you are the temple. How can you be the temple? How can you be the temple? Learning from hypocrites. Behaving as a hypocrite. Myself included, anyone. Dealing with tolerating hypocrisy. It doesn't matter, family, friends, whatever. Okay? This is why I told you, we live in a world where the educational system makes you a hypocrite. You're going to a religious institution that turns you into a hypocrite, and you're listening to politicians who are hypocrites. Then how are you teaching the truth? Then how are you manifesting the kingdom that's not a hypocrite? It's that simple. Okay? Therefore, you don't go and do anything, you be. Okay? You don't go, you be. Big difference. You don't find, you are. You don't find, you are. You don't go, you be. Okay? This is how it really works. And so then you will always agitate everyone around you that does not understand this concept. And this is why you will be hated. You will be hated, or you will be ignored, or you will be looked at and looked down upon. Those who do not understand your world is the way it is, and your community is the way it is because you're learning hypocrisy in the schools, in the churches, and everywhere you go. Everything is hypocrisy. But in your ignorance, you stay bliss. But I can be happy to go look. Yes, because spells are that way. Okay? So now, when we look at, and I always pray this, Psalm 35. Plead my cause on Fumu with them that strive with me. Fight against them that fight against me. So what is that telling us? When we walk with the God of hypocrisy, the God who's not a hypocrite is not fighting for you. But the one who is actually fighting for you. While at the same time, he's also causing you strife. So at the same time, he's fighting for you, he's throwing you under the bus. Or you're getting in trouble, or he's beating you up while at the time he's saving you. This is the problem. Take hold of shield and buckler and stand for mine help. Okay, shield and buckler is all connected to tonight's Templar stuff. We didn't say these words, but it's similar. Okay, draw also the spear and stop the way against them that persecute me. Say unto my soul, I am thy salvation. Who is your salvation? Oh, Jesus Christ. Wait a minute. The Messiah was in the Old Testament. There is no new. He was already there. The Most High Spirit was in the old and the new. This is where people don't understand is you went from being a physical temple to being a spiritual temple, but we were always a spiritual temple. We just didn't understand it means your heart. That's why he said circumcise your heart. That's why when he came, he said, if you have already acted according to the Most High, then you keep doing it. I came for the people who are struggling with this. Okay? And I have nothing to do with the hypocrites. that act like they are serving my Father when they are serving themselves. This is why many of these churches are going to find out you are being played. That's why there has to be so many of them. Because each person and each version of each church is what? Wise in their own eyes and leaning on their own understanding. And that is why the traditions make the law of no effect. That people are doing every single day, that all they're doing is doing the law carnally and not spiritually. So Moses is always judging you. Let them be confounded and put to shame that seek after my soul. Let them be turned back and brought to confusion that devise my hurt. Let them be as chaff before the wind, and let the angel of the Lord chase them down. This is what's happening in California. This is what's happening with all the wars around the world. This is what's happening to everybody. Because when if the Most High is fighting for you, this is what he's doing to your enemies. He's putting them to shame. He's making them look foolish. But so they always want a recompense. They want to make the opposite happen. They want to make you look bad. They want to put you to shame. But this time they're putting the Most High on it. This is why he says, woe unto them that call good evil and good and evil good, and woe unto the shepherds that feed themselves and not the flock. Okay, destruction. Okay, that's why you sit there and you say, oh, well, I've heard about Christianity, I've heard about Islam, I've heard about Judaism, I heard about Hebrew Israelites, all this stuff. Oh, that's all connected to the word of God. It's the word of Baal God. Because people don't understand is these scriptures are designed for you to bow down to the holy calf, thinking it's the Most High. This is why Kimbongo had to say, we will catch the thief with what they stole. Because these scriptures, King James stole from the Most High. Yes, he did. But then he realized it, and he turned against the Brotherhood. He was a part of the Knights Templar, and he was a Black Mason before they had the Prince Halls. Just like what happened with Christopher Columbus. That wasn't even his name. He changed it. He was a Black Jew that turned into a Knights Templar. Many of them did this. Okay? And then you had the Islamic people claiming to be the opposite of the Most High when they were the same. You're going to find this out. Let them be as chaff before the wind. Let their way be dark and slippery, and let the Maliki Congo of the Most High persecute them. So here's the issue. The angel, when you told the Most High, so it's like this. If the Most High favors you, then his angels will then do all of this to your enemies. Okay? And then they will have, this is how you're going to know who was against you and who was for you. So then all of the people, this is why they did not want us to find the truth, because now the Most High's angels will do these things on your behalf. The Umbasi. Okay? But at the same time, they want you to mess up so that you get hit with some of the stuff that you're doing against them. And this is what we're fighting against. Stopping that from happening. Let their way be dark, for without cause have they hid for me their net in a pit. Without cause they have dug for my soul. So this is what I'm telling you. When you are a person that wants to live by the truth, then you have those who without cause will want to have your demise. Okay? So their intentions are, man, we really hate this guy because his job is to expose our pirate, which is who they really work for. His job is to expose our order of deception, even though we'd say it's not deception. So this is where when you are trying to expose something that is in fact acting like it's good, you will now be expected to be these people coming after you. And they're going to act like they're your friends when they're not. Okay? Let destruction come upon them at unawares, and let the net that have hid catch themselves unto their very own destruction, let them fall. So now, if you are a person that is actually working against the system that is meant to ensnare people, entrap people on purpose, now you will start to put these people in their traps and their snares. Okay? And then we come to their destruction. My soul shall be joyful in the Mfumu, and will rejoice in his salvation. And all my bones will say the Mfumu, who is like you. This thing got to come on in a second. All right. So then, hold on 1 second. Make sure I'm not too dark here. Turn on some more light there a little bit. Excuse me. I got kind of 2 months longer here. It's just getting dark. But. All right. So then, what people don't understand is when the Most High is with you, the real creator, okay, then your enemies will find themselves in situations that they may not like. But see, the way the devil likes to masquerade, he's going to act like he saved them sometimes. But in reality, they got cursed for a reason, because they were hypocrites. And they started to say something against someone the Most High loves. See, they don't understand is our Father does not love the people in the same way when it comes to them worshiping a false god. No, he does not. See, this is the concept is if you are a person that is living in a world that you are hurting his sheep or his children, he is not finding favor with you. But the fallen angels are playing both sides. So you are finding favor with Lucifer, who is acting like he's good when he's bad, but you're only taught that he's bad so you don't see that he is pretending to be good. Okay? And this is what people don't get is now you're going to find out that you're in a trance to love the devil. And the Most High going to fix that trance. Okay? In all my bones shall say to the Mfumu, who is like unto thee that delivers the poor from him that is too strong for him, yea, the poor and needed from him that spoileth him? False witnesses did rise up. They laid to my charge things I knew not. They rewarded me evil for good to the spoiling of my soul. Okay? So now there's a lot of people that I know for a fact that because they chose to believe what they hear without getting the entire spectrum of what was said, okay, they're going to reward me evil because I am showing them something that is actually impacting what they don't even realize is a trap. And they're going to find this out very soon. But as for me, when they were sick, my clothing was sackcloth. I humbled my soul with fasting, and my prayer returned unto my own bosom. Because I did wear sackcloth. I did fast. I behaved myself as though he had been my friend or brother. I bowed down heavily as one that mourneth for his mother. But mine adversary, they rejoiced and gathered themselves together. Yea, and I have actually seen this. I have seen the people laughing at me. And I'm like, okay. Laughing at my mistakes, laughing at things that make the Most High angry, laughing and laughing and laughing. And I'm like, the concept is, I have seen what is going to happen when the Most High exposes the fact that they did the opposite of what the Messiah said when it comes to what he talked about, your brothers and sisters. When he says, be careful how you treat each other. If my adversaries are out there laughing at me and we come from the same bloodline, it's not going to be pretty, because I don't take joy in anyone's fall that comes from the Most High's chosen. I do not take joy in it. But what I take joy in is that I will receive the recompense from the Father for how that I'm treated. Where it's like, wow, okay, they're going to get theirs. They think they think I'm doing something wrong. They're going to find out, okay? Yea, and knew it not, they did tear me and cease not, okay? With hypocritical mockers in feasts, they gnashed upon with their teeth. And Fumu, how long wilt thou look on? Rescue my soul from the destruction of my darling, from the lions. I will give thanks in the great congregation. I will praise thee among much people. Let not them that are mine enemies wrongfully rejoice over me. Let them let them wink with the eye that hate me without a cause. And the winking of the eye comes from Nimrod, the one-eyed sailor, the Flying Dutchman, whatever you want to call him, the Skull and Bones, Jolly Rogers. People don't understand this stuff is wicked, man, but they're making it look good. So every time they wink in the eye, I seen LBJ do it in a movie, okay, in a thing. Why did he wink his eye? Okay, you don't understand. Everybody is being played by the eye winkers. And I'm not one of them. You can better believe that. Or those who are sympathetic to them. Because the reality is, now the Most High going to show you, you love Davy Jones. Davy Jones is where you're going with him. Everybody that's involved with this. Okay? Davy Jones is Nimrod. Amun-Ra. Okay? And just because they say it, oh, I don't worship the dog god, that doesn't mean it's true. Don't always believe what they say. Let the Most High show you if the person is lying or not. And that's the problem is, if you believe what a person says, and the Most High, and you don't ask the Most High, it's going to stay that way. I'm telling you. For they speak not peace, but they desire deceitful matters against them that are quiet in the land. Yea, they open their mouth wide against me and say, aha, our eye has seen it. Thou hast seen it, and Fumu, keep not silent, or Fumu, not be far from me. Stir up thyself and awake to my judgment, even in my cause. May Tatan Zambi, my Fumu, judge me, or Fumu, my God, according to thy righteousness, and let not them rejoice over me. Let them say in their hearts, ah, so we have it. Let them not say we have swallowed him up. Let them be ashamed and brought to confusion together that rejoice mine hurt, and let them be clothed with shame and dishonor that magnify themselves against me. Let them shout for joy and be glad that favor my righteousness cause. Yea, let them say continuously, let the Infuma be magnified, which has pleasure in the prosperity, and my tongue shall speak of righteousness of thy praise all day long. You cannot do this. This scripture does not work in the favor that you think when you are worshiping the God that is the hypocrite. And this is what people see. The Most High let people, because he turned the world over to the hands of the wicked, he let them play this game with you for years. And now it's going to be like, hey, let me show you. Let me show you who's who out here. And now when this comes out, there are those who are going to be astounded by those they thought were the Most High's enemy versus those who are really the Most High's enemy. Because they're going to, many people have assumed they are not the Most High's enemy when they are, and many people are assuming they are the Most High's enemy when they're not. You call somebody like, that guy's, how do you don't know that? And see, this is where the embarrassment is going to start to manifest for many people that's going to learn you didn't get away, these people didn't get away with nothing. And at the same time, you're not talking to who you think you're talking to, people. Okay? So many people are running around with people that are winking the eyes and Judases and hypocrite, and they're spies for Lucifer. And you're going to discover they set you up for the biggest delusion ever, because many of them are going to go with white Jesus, even though they want to be with the black God. Watch what's going to happen. It don't matter that they're preaching about black Jesus, okay? They're going to go with the imposter who's both black and white. Because I told people, man, be careful, because Nimrod was black and he became white. Same with Cain. That doesn't mean that you talk about a black Messiah now, that you're going with the one that wasn't the hypocrite. I'm going to show you. So many people are going to find this out, man. Every person that's taken an oath, whether you know about it or not, or has affiliated themselves with people who are they themselves not who they say they are going to be freaking out very soon. Because I'm telling you, this is it. This is what they were waiting for, and this is what they're ready for. And when it's going to manifest, y'all going to be like, man, wait a minute, how did I not know? Because I'm telling you, man, it starts next week. And I'm going to show you how I know that they got you. This is the sacred tree calendar of the Celtic people. Man, all of this is tied in to what they're doing now. All right? Now, we know we had Samhain, which is what they call Halloween. Okay, that happened. There was rituals going on there. Oh, but there's nothing wrong with that. You got Jews, man, I'm telling you, you got Jews of the yin-yang, okay, that have been deceiving you. It says, the concept of the Celtic tree calendar was first seen in the works of Edward Davies in the 19th century. David researched the, I'm not going to say these names because, you know, these are all spirits. He researched the further development, the white goddess, and even the white, you don't find out who the white goddess is. And even further development by Ross Nichols. Nichols is actually the name of a demon. The founder of legendary order of bears, Ovart, the Jewish, okay, the Celtic reveals, it's not mythology, people. They practicing it right now. Many trees, even more than one, include the calendar. And you're going to find out that trees have a symbol. These trees are the opposite of the right one. Okay? This is why you're going to see why they got so much aspen and stuff out here and what they really doing with it. Okay? Now watch this. The birch, or what they call Beth moon. Where do you think they get Beth from? Elizabeth, all that stuff. December 24th to January 20th. Oh, what's going on the January 20th? What just happened through these days? What did the Pope do on the 24th of December? Man, people, okay. The hardest, see, the winter we grow is fire. Some liken it to the pioneer spirit. The pioneer spirit, remember what the pioneer spirit was for people coming across the old west and all that stuff? Okay, taking root to harsh and unknown lands is a symbol renewal of the highest level and demonstrates a fierce, unfailing ability to not only survive, but also to prosper and multiply. This is the main tree of the Scottish Rites. You don't understand these people lying to you. Okay? They know what they're doing here, people. Then you have one that goes from January 21st through February. Rowan. Okay? Luis, the moon. I'm telling you, people, it's all Luciferian. Is known for balance, clarity, vision, protection, divination, and transformation. For those who believe that the trees speak to us when we listen with complete silence, okay? Now remember, we talked about the trees, right? But you got to remember, some of these can be bad spirits and some of these can be good spirits. You better know the difference, boy. I'm telling you. Go beyond physical world, engage beyond what is comfortable. Another amazing lesson to be found is observing where they grow and determine where to survive. The Jewish believe the Rowan contained a spirit, a secret knowledge of immortality and personal freedom. Okay, what was America based off of? Freedom, immortality. Yo, the Europeans, this is their religion, man, are you? The word neon, hello, ash, moon, February. What do you think is coming, man? Ash Wednesday, yo. Enormous and ancient, towering above the landscape, thick trunk, deep roots. Interpreted the tree expansion growth, the incredibly complex root system also remaining grounded despite how much growth. This is where they get the family tree from, people. You don't get it. The belief was specifically aligned with the esoteric message of the ash. The Jewish and Norse people believe all realms were connected via branches of giant mystical ash trees known as whatever. I'm not even going to say that name. Okay, this is where the red fern grows. Remember that? Remember that movie, that show? The fern. Okay. It says the shields were made from the outer wood, and it was symbol of strength in battle. It was believed to be an access point to the fairy realms. What fairy? I'm trying to tell y'all, okay? All of this right here is now mixed into Tatanzambi's belief. And it goes even further back because this is what other cultures also were doing. Similar. Okay, you see the little child on fire? Hello? Hello? The child is on fire. You see the person in the background? You can see the image. They're going to be doing what? Sacrifice. I'm telling you, okay? Why is this significant? Because now you're going to find out what we're telling you. Kendoki is in every single belief system. So don't just assume because black, white, Asian, red, whatever indifference. There are not every spirit is of the Most High. And this is why they talk about the word family. Family comes from the word familiar. Familiar spirits. Kintwadi has nothing to do with familiar spirits. All right. Familiar, intimate, very friendly on a family footing from the old French, familiar, related, friendly, from Latin, domestic, private, belonging to a family of a household, familiar, intimate, a dissimulation of family. Okay, this is the issue. Many people think that they are the Most High's family and they're his enemy. And then there are those who think they're his enemy but are his family. He has allies and he has enemies. The problem is many people have been made to believe that those who practice paganism mixed with our way are his family. No, they are not. You're going to find this out for thousands of years. People have been played, man. Okay, the hustle is real. Nobody is the Most High's family that mixes the pagan and non-pagan together. It is a lie. You have been played for generations with this. Okay? You cannot be in two temples at once. No one can. You cannot eat at the cup. That's why he said, you cannot eat at the cup of the devil and of the Most High. You can't do it. And now Tatanzambi said, now I will protect my sheep from those that keep doing this. This is when he says, I'm going to go gather my sheep and I'm going to bring them to a place where they are safe from the people who keep doing this. When this happens, goodbye. Goodbye. Okay? And that's what they're trying to do right now is the wicked people, they are trying to destroy us before he can do it because that's how they play the game. They think that they can eliminate everybody that's their problem so that they don't have any more issues. Like they finally was talking about this whole thing about population and how many people really are there. You don't even know how you've been played with that. Everything was in an intentional mindset to control what you believe, who you are, what you think, where you come from, and you don't even have a clue that everything was designed for one purpose and one purpose only, to stop Malachi 3. When he says, do not let them get out of iniquity, do not let them purify, that is the underlying thing. Do not let these people get back what they belongs to them. And if you're on our side and you do it, we're going to come after you. But if you weren't on their side, there's nothing they can do to you. This is the problem. If you were never on their side, they cannot touch you. This is how you know the difference. If you were never on that side of the fence, they got to convince you to come over there. And the Most High is like, no, see, this one's mine. That's what he means. He says, if these are in my hand, yeah, you may think you can touch them, but it ain't going to happen. All your plotting and everything you're going to try to do, even death won't stop them. And this is why I try to explain to people. Do not assume that everybody is in the Most High's hands just because they say so. Don't do that. And at the same time, if you come from the Most High, like it says, you are not supposed to plot evil against anybody. Then he's like, hey, that's all. Now I can't. That means you one of the people that got told that don't. He said, not everybody say, Lord, Lord, will I answer. Okay, jealousy and envy will always cause you strife. Always. Jealousy and envy will always cause you strife. Lack of knowledge, the same. See, people only know how to say, oh, I have faith. Faith is the name of a false god. We didn't say faith. Okay? You say names just like out of the blue. Oh, grace. Oh, I got grace. Grace is the name of another false god. You don't know what you're saying. They just have you saying words out here like they nothing. I'm like, okay, you're going to find out the hard way. A lot of the words that you use, you know, Undolula, Ntimba Yambote. We did not say this is the name of a Greek god. Same with this one. Lukwikilu. Lukwikilu is what you really spoke. This word right here it comes from witchcraft, yo. You don't get it. This is why they want to change our words. See, to pray constantly in this way shows we have genuine faith. In what God, though? So many people praying to Odin is not even funny. That's why Odin's going to have the cold party next week, boy. I'm telling you. Kana beto ke samba ntangonyoso beto ta monisa nde beto keleti lukwikilu ya masonga. See, but Thessalonica. We did not say Thessalonians. This is how we said it. Okay? See, Jacobo, not James. Jacobo, not James. Bampangi. Consider it all joy when you meet with the various trials, knowing that you do this to testify works of endurance. Bampangi na mono, kana bampasi ya mutindu na muntindu, que buila beno fueta baka ya bonso, mambu mosi yekisi sambu beno zaba, nde kana likwikilu na beno keli kaka ata na ntangu ya mpasi, Mpindina, Kesonga, Nde Benozaba, Kukanga, and Tima. And Tima means heart. Okay? There's a reason why they do not want us to speak the language that we know is the right language. And at the same time, there are those speaking this language that are coming out here acting like, and I'm telling you, all of these people that are trying to do the work that they were not assigned, and they're stealing it from somebody else who were assigned it, you're going to pay for that. This is going to be the year that the Most High is going to start exposing who he sent to do his work and who he did not. More, you're going to find this out. And I'm telling you, I can't help you with this, because the reality is you're going to be stuck with whatever you chose to believe, with whatever person you chose to think that they were going to help you, and they're going to find out they were not helping the Most High. And you're going to be in whatever trap that you're going to spring when you're sitting there saying, oh my gosh, I'm on the wrong side. Because you're going to find this out. You cannot be okay? The secret society is helping the Most High like you think. Yeah, there's people going to come out of it. I know they are. And there's people coming out of it now. But I'm telling you, you're going to discover that these people cannot change what they do. They have to do what they do, which is to stop us from being one nation, which will never happen because it's already done. And to keep decoying you with imposters. Okay? The Most High is many umbasi. Okay? Many umbasi going to come and jack some people up, boy. I'm telling you the truth. The Most High coming with 10,000 thousands of his Basantu ones, his holy ones. And they are not from the kingdom of the hypocrites. You can forget it. And you're going to be shocked who is the spy for Lucifer and who is the spy for the Most High. Who is the worker of iniquity and who is the worker of that's not iniquity. So many people are going to be shocked about this. Okay? Let me get the song going. I don't want to go too long today. All praises. What did the other remote do? Well, let me put this song on here. Again, I don't own the rights to it. It's not for the edification 1 second. Let me make sure everything is good. It's not for me, and it's not for reproduction of any kind, but for the edification. And like I told you, a lot of people are expecting something to go down that is going to be the opposite of what they think. A lot of people are planning on joining groups to do things, and it's going to work the opposite of what they're going to find out. Because like I told you, even as we're currently working, I'm well aware of the fact that a lot of people are going to find out that there's things going on behind the scenes that they may not be paying attention to if you've chosen to turn a blind eye to those who are not being honest. All right. Again, I don't own the rights to the song. Let me share the songs. This is in Angola. One of the roads she's going to be on, I was on it. The Tokus and the Kimbangus are in this region, along with other types of churches. But you're going to see, like I told you, this road that she's standing on, I was on it. Now she's singing in Portuguese. I just like the song because it's a good song. And it's Portuguese, but it's similar to Kikongo. Yeah, because all the names of the countries are going to go away. All you're going to have is numbers. No names. Because the Most High don't say the names of blasphemy. Bantu. This whole country is about to change, and people don't believe. The whole Africa is going to change. You're going to see a lot of changes coming. Banza Congo. That's the power. See? They know. In Banza Congo. Golgotha. You're going to see where that's at. The skull. Yes, he was crucified in the Congo. No one will believe me. Go find out. That's one. And all these names are about to change. Let me find that out. Deus is really Zeus. I'm telling you. Como você pensava? Yes, way. They say Jesus. That's the Portuguese way of saying Jesus. It's yes way. Yes, Jesus. Eu não preciso do dinheiro, venha todo mundo receber, venha receber a tua cura, venha receber a salvação, venha receber a tua bênção, Durante toda a minha vida, fosse um galé, a minha bacia na cabeça, fosse um galé, fazendo negócio, o meu patrão é, que eu amo muito, Zumberê, Yep, Angola's gonna change. The DRC is gonna change. A lot of things are gonna happen. Espiritu. See, you hear some Espiritu Santo. That's connected to some of the stuff you hear in the Latin. Cristo, bonsoir. Começa na tua vida, na tua casa, na tua rua, no teu carro. Rua. See, this is what I'm telling you. That move, that dance right there. That's how you take your sins away. You go backwards. We call it scatter around. Of course, they're doing a different salute, though. I know what that is. That's how you do your sin, go backwards. They don't teach that in no Christian, that dance. So the problem is we're doing too much dancing and they're doing too much stealing. Our praises. We're doing too much dancing and they're doing too much stealing. And that's the problem. We're busy too much dancing and they're doing too much robbing the money. So now, Bayete and Kosi, away, Salah Kambote, for those that we're not Kambote and all the difference. We're leaving. So expect this is going to be the year. And it's coming. It's going to be huge. The transition of wealth is going to start to really have an impact on the earth as the Tanzambi starts to take away Esau's power and his wealth from him. And those who benefit will now be hurting. And people talk about it's just going to be America. No, it's going to be everywhere because America is just an extension. Excuse me. Donald Trump is no different than the Pontificus Optimus Primus Epiphanes Pope mindset that you don't understand is all over. The Catholic Church is all over Africa. As goes the Catholic Church, as goes the world, as you will soon find out. Okay, it doesn't matter. As goes the Catholic Church, so goes the world. Because it's not just going to be the West that's going to be impacted. The whole world is going to see the change. It's going to manifest. Anyway, all praises Zola Quingi Sambololo, Wezi Yable Kongo Kutwala. And like I said, as I was talking to the other people, it's time the Most High going to take care of those who like to do sabotage. It's over for them. The saboteurs are done. We have come to the end of their saboteuring that will now start to have an impact on what they do, because their whole world is now about to shift to a whole nother level, as they have already begun the preparations for it, that things will never be the same after this coming year. All right? Anyway, Zola Quingi Sambololo.
I have a question.
Hold on a sec.